Hi, and welcome to another episode of Parenting on Purpose. Thanks for joining me. My tip for you today is to be curious instead of critical. Do you feel like you're always correcting bad behavior by jumping in and either criticizing or complaining about it? Well, welcome to parenthood. Our human brains are actually wired to find things that are going wrong, and often as parents, that focuses on what our children are doing wrong. If we let that be our default, we can get into a really deep hole of negativity, and that's really not good for us. And imagine what that's doing for your children. A renowned child psychologist, Ross Greene, has taught, kids do well if they can. Imagine if we believe that our kids are actually doing the best they can with what they've got. Would that change the way you parent? I want to challenge you to think about that, and instead of being critical, be curious. So what does that look like? All right. Imagine if your 9-year-old daughter comes home from school, slams the door, kicks off her shoes, and throws her jacket on the floor. What would you do? Well, you'd probably run over there, raise your voice, and say something like, "Why did you slam the door? We don't slam doors in this house. Now pick up your jacket." And you'd walk away. And that would be it. So instead of that, try and be curious and say something like, "I noticed that you slammed the door. Do you want to tell me about your day?" Or, "How was your day? It sounds like you could use a snack and a chat." And now it's time to problem solve and listen to her. You might discover that she had a hard day at school and maybe was angry about something. Maybe she fell on her bike and was embarrassed. Whatever it is, and whenever you discover why she behaved the way that she did, you can talk about it, you can problem solve, maybe come up with ways to help her manage her emotions, and then you can ask her to pick up her jacket. Have you ever done something wrong as an adult? Of course you have. We make mistakes every day. And imagine if somebody that you cared about and cared about you was constantly finding things that you did wrong and criticizing you. It wouldn't feel very good. Now imagine if one night you didn't get any sleep, the next day you were completely exhausted, and you forgot to do something for your partner. And when your partner found out, instead of lecturing you about forgetting, he listened to why you forgot and found a way to help you get some rest. Wouldn't that be great? Of course, with our kids, it'll be a little different, but the idea is the same. Look for reasons why the behavior is there so you can actually solve problems. So when you're curious instead of critical, you can find out all sorts of things. Maybe your child is forgetting. Kids forget, we all forget. And they might need to problem solve ways to be reminded of something. They might just be hungry or tired. You might discover that they have a big chore and they're overwhelmed, and you need to break down the chore for them. You might discover that your child needs to learn more coping mechanisms because they're having big emotions. Being curious doesn't mean that you let your children get away with not doing their chores or with misbehaving. It's just a different approach that's going to help them find ways to improve. Of course, when you do ask, your child might not know what's going on, and they might not understand why they're misbehaving. But they're learning that you care more about them than you do about their behavior. They're learning that you're not going to freak out when they make a mistake, and that you care, and that they can trust you to care and to listen. This is an investment in your relationship with your child, and it's going to help them to open up to you, especially as they get older, and that's really important. Being curious instead of critical is a way of thinking. It's a state of mind that keeps you in a positive light, and it helps you to be a better parent. Remember that you're not there to live your child's life for them. You're there to support them. And part of that support is to help them figure out why or the reasons behind their bad behavior so that they can make better choices. So the next time your child misbehaves, be curious about it and ask questions and assume there's a reason. And when you find out that reason, you can problem solve together. That's it for this episode of Parenting on Purpose. I hope that this week you will try to be more curious instead of critical. Thanks for joining me. Take care.